We all wanted to come a little closer to the way the local people of Spiti actually live their daily lives. So early one morning we set off into another of the twisting side valleys in Spiti. Our destination was a small village called Mud, where we would spend 2 days and nights living with a local family. The light in these mountains has an unearthly quality of tremendous beauty, and the village looked as if it had been especially lit for our arrival.
They're good healthy fields out there. Is it wheat or barley that's so healthy and green?
One of the highlights for me was in Mud, where we stayed for 2 nights with a family. And for me, I loved just to be invited into that. There was a grandfather with he was 70, but he looked like 170, with this kid whose mother had died. And just this whole extended family, like, felt so natural. I was so comfortable in it. And for me, I just feel that people are very open, just very rooted in themselves.
After a simple local meal with our new family, it was time for some relaxation over a game of dice. Our stay in Spiti Valley was over, and it was time to retrace our steps, cross over Kunzumlar again, and return to Lohol Valley. Lohol has a unique and magnificent beauty of its own. Our drive would take us for the first time to the western end of the valley, and a small village called Jisper, where we planned to stay for 2 days and explore the local area. At the small village of Tandi, we took a tea break before heading north along the Baga River.
How long can it last? That's what we were saying here before. We sort of look around, I don't know, we feel like we're on the final frontier. And maybe our grandchildren, 20 years' time, is going to be like just overdeveloped here maybe. But they can't change that.
Tandi was the last petrol pump for the next 370 kilometers, and we knew that from here on, the road became rougher and more isolated. We passed through Kilong, the capital of Lohol, knowing that it was the last town of any size that we would see before arriving in Leh. On leaving Kilong, the valley starts to narrow and the road surface deteriorates rapidly. The drops on the side of the road require an even steadier hand and head, and you really start to feel how far away from civilization you are. It had been a long day, but finally, after one more precipitous corner, our hotel at Jisper came into view. It was a welcome sight and comforting to know that we would be able to rest up there for 2 days before tackling the hardest part of the road.
I just walked up the steps and I can hardly breathe. It's amazing, huh?
the whole thing of being with a group was a big part of it for me. I didn't realize, or I wouldn't have guessed that would have been a big part. I thought it was all about the mountains and riding, but it was really interesting and fun and challenging to just be with a group like that, because you're really together. You know, at the end of the day, you're dusty and tired, and it gets quite real with everyone.
The break at Jispa gave us some time to explore the local area.
Getting in that environment's just really opened. It was just awesome. It was just so beautiful. I've just got another sense of belonging, a sense of peace. The villages were true villages, yes. And I realised, man, we're really out here somewhere. This is a quite remote place.
Lahore has some of the most magnificent scenery of the whole journey. Every direction that you look, there is a huge mountain covered in eternal snow, towering over the valley below. We wanted to visit Shashore Gompa, one of the main monasteries in the valley. Built in the 16th century, it is located high above the valley floor, in a peaceful spot with wonderful views of the mountains around. Inside, there was a huge display of statues and icons and painted frescoes on the walls. The familiar deep silence of a Gompa had its usual effect on all of us. The following day we were back on the road again.
Absolutely an awesome place to go, way beyond any expectations that I could have imagined in my mind. But it was just completely so much bigger. And actually, to be honest, it was a heck of a lot rougher than I expected. I mean, I was actually expecting a tarred road, and I didn't really. I got some tarred patches, but there was some incredible stuff to deal with. So you really got broken into that motorbike. It was a real breaking back into motorbike riding, from cruisy, fast kind of corner stuff to real trail bike riding over gnarly, rocky, nasty, dirty bits and pieces with horrible drops.
About 20 kilometers from Jispa, the road starts its long climb to the top of Baralachala, the next pass that we had to cross. It It is the toughest landscape that we have encountered so far. You get the sense that the weather could change at any moment as the mountains draw in menacing clouds. In winter, it is impassable. At just under 5,000 meters, Baralachala is the highest we have yet been. The usual colored prayer flags greet us and help to ease the forbidding atmosphere of the massive peaks that surround us. But the stark beauty of the place is unforgettable.
That is a great bit of riding. That run all the way up from way down the bottom there is a really good ride. No fear factor on this one, no big drops, just really nice kind of chunky corners with lots of gravel and water, and then nice runs up the bitumen. Really good mix of riding.
Is this the highest you've been in your life on 2 feet?
Absolutely. How high am I? I'm about to fall. I'm down.
Well, I think it's a fantastic physical challenge to come to India again and to come to what's obviously a fantastic part of India. I mean, all the girls who've been riding pillion, without exception, are just ecstatic about it. So for anyone who's a motorbike rider, you know, you can take that to another degree again as a rider. It's a fantastic ride.
Chai time, chai. Hello.
And it's lunchtime.
From Jisper until Leh, there is virtually no permanent human habitation. The winters are just too cold and the earth too rocky for any cultivation. The road to Leh is open from the beginning of June to the middle of October, and during these summer months, local people set up temporary tent shelters where you can find a simple mattress to sleep on overnight. We had to move further down the road that day, but the tent colony at Bharatpur provided some good chai and some simple food to keep us going. There was still some tough riding ahead.
I kept on finding myself trying to grasp hold of things, whatever was going through my mind, or emotions or body sensations or whatever. I try to sort of latch onto them and analyze it, or whatever it is you do with that stuff at any given time. And there was just this feeling of like dissolving into that space. I couldn't grasp on to things. I went through an amazing journey about facing my fear. Also, that feeling of trust in whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because I forget to do that always.
Riding on this road, it's so kind of primal. It's a challenge to keep on your feet. It's like there's some part of you tries to kind of keep your balance and keep upright. You know, you don't want to fall over.
Maybe even change boots. Bit wet. Yes, got very wet.
Well, I paddled. And now my boots are full of water.
You got some water in your boots?
Yeah, in your water boots.
I didn't stay upright, I was foot down.
Although we had only covered about 80 kilometers in the day, the conditions had been the most difficult so far, and we were all happy to know that our overnight stop at Sachu was close by.